Hey there, horror fans, Evil Eddie here. Hey, if you happen to be browsing your way through and you like what you hear, please hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. You listeners are what keep us cranking them out, so hope you enjoy the episode and we'll talk to you soon.
Get sex, get sex, get sex, what sex? Get sex, get sex, get sex, what sex? Are you sex? You need your ex. You need sex, what
I'm a shark.
Oh, the horror.
Ladies and fucking gentlemen, 66.6 The Horror. Welcome to the podcast where we address and stress and obsess over everything that is horror.
You sound like a tugboat. Horror.
That's what I was going for,
okay,
dude.
there you go.
Jaws, I was just diving right in.
Yeah, dive.
Alright, but yeah, I'm Hell's Hooligan. Hi! And I got these fucking dudes, man. One here, one there. His name's Lynn Leatherface. This fucker's name is Evil Eddie.
Ahoy, mateys. I just can't do it, Captain. I do have the bird.
Alright, motherfuckers! What you guys want to talk about today? You guys want to like cover like a summer type movie? You know what, man? I've been so goddamn bored.
Yeah.
You know, we went to the Overlook Hotel. It was cold as shit there, man.
I like it.
You like the cold?
I'm more of a mountains person.
Yeah.
Give me the mountains over the beach.
Well, you know, I do like the mountains. I like the snow. It's fine with me.
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? My balls were like climbing inside my body.
They're
They were
always that way. Don't lie.
Okay, you're right. But
First time I met you, it was awkward. You said, "Hey, will you check this out?" You dragged me into the men's restroom. You're like, "Is this normal?"
you're like, where's your balls?
And I knew from then we'd be lifelong friends.
Yeah, it just looked like Alf, like the fucking.
You look like a Ken doll.
I'm a eunuch. All right, but you know what? I'd like to go on a fucking vacation, boys. Can we please like hit like? Can we go to a beach, man? Summertime, like it's beginning of summer. I could use some vitamin D, man. You know, let's get some rays a popping, get that tan going. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Want to hit a beach?
Yeah, Florida.
Mexico. Gulf Shores. Alabama. Florida's beaches there.
California.
No, I'm thinking maybe.
California?
No, we could go. No. I'm thinking more East Coast. Let's go up to New
Carolinas.
England. No, New England. No, New England.
New England?
New England, boys.
Whoa. Nothing screams sunny and fucking beautiful weather than the coast of New England.
I'll do you one better. Why don't we go to Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we go to the coast of Omaha?
Yeah.
Good choice.
Guys, I'm in the mood for some chowder.
Okay.
I want some chowder.
Well,
You know
why
what,
didn't
honestly-
you just say that? Why did you have to use the front of sunny beaches?
Yeah. And at this time of year, we should be okay.
I'm trying to sell you guys on it. I know you fuckers don't want to go up there, but I do.
No, I love these coasts.
I'm down to go.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm up to go.
I'm DTF.
You're DTF?
Yeah.
Down to fly?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I bet you there's some really fucking great deals on flights right now, seeing as how like no one's flying. So
Or
let's
there's
fly.
not, because no one's flying. And they're just trying to milk you for all you got.
Wah, wah. All right.
You know what? Money's not an issue. Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. Okay, so we'll head up to. What are you thinking? Like
What, do you want to head over to the main event first?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your hosts for 66.6 The Horror, it's Lynn Leatherface.
Whew, that was a hell of a flight.
Yeah, those little island hoppers are real doozy.
Real doozy. I don't know, man, but we had to get off the fucking plane and then get on a little boat, little charter boat, bring us over here. I don't know, man. That was kind of a bitch getting here.
It kind of was. It was worth it. Look how not sunny it is.
Yeah.
But I know that chowda's around here
Yeah,
somewhere.
it is.
Yeah, but what's the first thing you guys want to do?
I say, let's rent a tape. That's
Yeah.
what we do. We go to locations and find weird video stores, and we get suggestions from the locals.
So we came all the way over here just to rent a tape.
We're gonna eat some chowder. Some chowder.
We'll get some chowder.
I mean, by all means, we're in fucking New England,
Yeah.
where there's lighthouses and all this scenery. But yeah, let's go.
all
to the
this
video
history.
store. We could go see Paul Revere's place, but nope, we'll go to the video store.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Settled.
All right.
all right, cool.
But did you guys see that video store when we came in on
Yeah.
the harbor? It was like I think it's just called straight up
It was called
Harbor Video. Yeah, Harbor Video. So
go.
let's check that out. It's just a little
I don't
shack.
think there's many other options. I wouldn't
Probably
imagine there being
not.
more than one.
Probably not around
Yeah.
here. But let's go check that out and see what's up.
Man, what is it with these video stores and creaky doors?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody heard of fucking WD-40? I don't know. Who's that guy over there? Let's go talk to him.
Ooh, he looks crusty.
He does look crusty. I bet he's got some good recommendations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, welcome to Harbor Video. I'm Bobby. How can I help you?
Bobby. Hey,
Wow.
Bobby. Hey.
So we're here on the coast of Mass, New England, and we were looking for a tape to rent, something to get us in the mood of being on the coast, right?
Yeah, summer movie, man.
Summer movie.
Oh, yeah, you're looking for something wicked pisser, huh?
Wicked. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Wicked pisser.
Yeah.
Hey, you chowderheads want to rent a video or what? Here.
Yeah.
You know what he's fucking saying?
You said a piss movie.
No, I don't want that.
A what?
No, I don't. I want something that you.
What?
Yeah, not a piss movie.
A what?
Oh,
Okay.
not a piss movie.
A what?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Do you have anything that has to do with the ocean and the summer?
Summer swimming.
Summer blockbuster, perhaps?
Yeah. Like.
Let me see what I got here. I got humanoids from Deep, huh?
No.
No, not that. Finding Nemo, huh? No.
Nah, some.
Oh, wait, I got a classic for you. Meg.
Ryan?
Meg? Ryan?
Oh, let's move on.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, we got Creative.
That's the creature.
Well, why don't you take some Moby Cock?
I will not take some Moby Cock, and
that
I
sounds
would like
like-
another suggestion.
That sounds like a piss movie.
Yeah, it does sound like a piss movie.
Did you say?
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Did he say Moby Cock? Dude, I think he means Moby C called the dick cock.
Good Lord.
All right, okay, one more. Anything else that you might recommend other than the fucking dumb ones you just? I'm sorry, Bobby, but the dumb ones you just said.
Yeah.
What there's this 1977 blockbuster called how about Jaws?
But it came out a few years before that, I think.
I want to watch the original Jaws.
1975.
You know, it's 1977. Trust me, I know movies.
It sounds like you do, obviously. So I tell you what, we'll take the tape, right?
Maybe. Well, maybe we should.
Well, maybe I tell you what.
Raise it back.
Let's do what we normally do. We'll flip it over and we'll see what this movie claims it has to offer.
Good idea.
Jaws is one of the greatest box office attractions in the history of motion pictures. Director Steven Spielberg has brought Peter Benchley's best-selling novel to the screen with stunning power and unbearable suspense. Roy Schreider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw are the perfectly cast gentlemen as all three become allied in a life-and-death situation in the hunt to destroy a killer embodying nearly 3 tons of instant white death. Screenplay by Peter Benchley and Carl Gottlieb. Jaws. This summer's suspenseful blockbuster.
No, I think this movie is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you chowderheads want to just go ahead and take this fucking video, huh?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Alright, cool. Wait, hey, I'll tell you what. You bring it back rewind.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
I tell you what. If you fucking happy bastards don't bring back this tape rewound, I'll hang you up by your Buster Browns.
I always wondered what that meant.
Buster Browns?
I guess they're shoes.
I guess so. I don't know.
Or brown balls.
You know what? This fucking...
No, they're exactly what you think they sound like.
Oh, that confused me even more.
I'm really like, I don't... Bobby, you're kind of a
Your
strange...
sleeping bags, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, the sleeping bags you take out on the beach right before you go and bang in the fucking sand. And you got some pecan sandies, huh?
Okay.
God,
bless
pecan
this-
sandies, yeah.
this dude
Buster Browns.
This dude is lost his ever-loving mind.
I don't
Why
know.
is it that
Hey,
every video store we go into, the proprietor is a fucking psycho?
I don't know, dude.
When have we ever brought back a tape that wasn't rewound? Maybe once.
Maybe twice. I don't know. Is that fucking Martha's the one that really...
Hey, Martha!
What?
Hey, Martha, she owns the island. She's my mother.
Oh, Lord. We
Oh,
can't-
God
Martha
damn it.
McGee.
We can't. What? Martha McGee?
Wait, your name is Bobby McGee?
Hey, fuck you. I don't like that.
All right.
And your dad is Yoid McGee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
Bobby, why
how
don't you
the
just...
fuck you know my father?
I don't know. Why don't you just take another little piece of my heart, Bobby? You know?
Come
Hey,
on.
well, fuck.
Come on.
fuck
Come
you.
on.
Come on.
Should buy him a Mercedes bin, Bobby.
Hey, you know what? You fuckers need to get the fuck out of my store. Bring the fucking tape back rewound. This movie's fucking pisser. Wicked fucking
I don't
pisser.
understand. Like, there's a piss on this tape?
Yeah.
It's like,
Could be.
that's unsanitary, dude. That's
Yeah,
gross.
especially these days. You should know better.
Yeah, I
Hey.
don't know, man. Okay, we're gonna get the fuck out of here,
Yeah,
Bobby.
let's do it. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, get
Okay.
the fuck out of here.
All right, Eddie, come on, man. Let's go.
All right, hey, I'm coming.
All right,
Eddie,
cool.
who's been really quiet.
Yeah, it's been super quiet. Okay, all right, cool. All right, guys. So, Jaws. Jaws, baby, 1975.
Wow.
Steven Spielberg.
League of its own.
Like the Tom Hanks movie?
Madonna,
You
Rosie
guys are
O'Donnell.
fucking ridiculous. No! The movie itself exists in a league of its own. That's a good movie, though.
That is a good movie.
I do love that movie.
I love softball movies. That's my favorite.
I
That's
thought you just like soft balls.
I knew he liked softball, dude.
No, Jaws, dude. I mean,
Okay, so we picked this movie because it's the beginning of summer. This is the 45th anniversary of Jaws
yeah,
this
just,
year.
a few months or a month ago,
Something like that,
Came out in
yeah.
May, I believe.
Which coincidentally, we did Shining last week.
Oh no,
and-
actually, the movie came out on June 20th. So in theaters. So it's
so we're coming up on the
coming up
45th.
on it. Wow.
Ah, very cool. Well, and it was the 40th anniversary of The Shining, which we did
Crazy.
last week. So yeah, very cool stuff, man. We're and we didn't even realize that. It's just coincidental.
Yeah,
pretty
It
cool.
really is. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
but Jaws, not your typical horror movie.
Not at all.
No.
But I think that there's enough horror elements, enough suspense in this movie that we
Absolutely.
can classify it into the horror category.
Yeah. So your creature, animal horror, nature horror.
Nature horror, and I mean, this is more or less an adventure movie, I
Yeah.
think. But it's great, man. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
No doubt.
And I'm sure a lot of people would agree with that. This
Yeah.
was just a fucking solid movie all around.
Yes.
So
Thumbs up,
let's-
thumbs down?
Absolutely, man. For me, most definitely 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Thumbs
Yeah.
up for sure.
Thumbs up for me too.
Yeah.
Cool. So, and for our podcast, we always choose these movies that we typically enjoy. Lately, we've been covering just 1 or 2 movies in our podcast. We will get back to our original format of like 3 movies.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're going to choose movies that we haven't seen. So don't think that it's always going to be a thumbs up. We're definitely going to try and do some.
Yeah, I mean, life just kind of presented this to us. It's kind of like this organically. We had a little bit of a schedule. We were like, hey, we're going to cover this, but we also gave ourselves grace and liberty to detour from that.
Yeah.
And this is one that we thought we need to cover it, being that it's summertime and.
It's dude.
You know?
This is a perfect summer movie. I've seen this movie so many times. I had this on VHS when I was a kid. Used to watch that a lot. It's just a good one, man. It's a really good. And okay, would you guys agree with me that after watching this movie, at least for the first time when you were a kid, did you have a hard time swimming in the swimming pool?
Yeah, it's so I think for me in the spectrum of things that are frightening, the deep ocean, underwater, that to me is some of the scariest stuff for me. It still frightens me. You talk about chasing that dragon, what scares you with horror films and things like that. Nothing really, you're kind of immune to it. Not with this, dude. Something about the unknown depths of the ocean, what could come to the shore, shark, I mean, all of it's fucking frightening.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
very real fear.
Yeah, you know, I have a fear of sharks. I'm also extremely fascinated by them.
Yeah.
I think that they're an amazing creature. You know, they're prehistoric. It's just really cool. I was fortunate enough. I got to go to Bora Bora a few years back, and
Cool.
I went open water, like snorkeling with them.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't have my diving license at the time, so I wish I could have gone deep and seen them a little
Sure.
bit closer. I mean, not that they weren't right there by you. I mean,
Right.
and dude, these were reef sharks. They were 12 to 15 foot, I believe. I mean, this was. I remember, you know, this is. I've gone cage diving since then with other sharks, but this was the first time I tried it, and it was like that was the first stop. It was like one of those things where it was an all-day excursion where you go.
Sure.
It was like sharks and then stingrays and something else.
Yeah.
Anyways, this was the very first stop in the morning, and it was like. We got out there, and there was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 people on the boat total.
Yeah.
And, dude, you could see these fucking sharks just
swimming
circling
around.
the boat.
Yeah, just
and everybody
swimming.
just diving on in like no big fucking deal. I'm going, what the fuck have I got
Yeah.
myself into?
Yeah, what have I done?
One of the absolute, if not the coolest experience of my life.
I'm
man.
sure.
When I was in the water, it was like just insane. It was
Yeah.
the coolest thing. So, yeah.
I've
that
got a
was really
chance
cool.
to swim with dolphins, and to the point where they train these dolphins to push you across the water.
Oh, cool.
And this was when I was younger, and I remember one of the guides saying that they used, I don't think it was in Jaws, because I haven't read or seen anything since, and I've done research, but they said that they trained dolphins to push people across the water. I guess maybe it wasn't Jaws specifically, but in movies where there's a shark attack, because the way that they can push people across the water, it looks like a shark can be dragging you across the water.
Oh, right.
So they'll use trained dolphins to do that. Even getting in the water with a dolphin who's not going to do anything to you was a bit unnerving at first. I mean, you're up there close and personal with these animals, so I can't imagine sharks.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, you talk about like training an aquatic animal to try and do things. In the making of Jaws, they talked about assuming that they would be able to train sharks to be able to do this. They found out pretty quickly that wasn't an option.
Not an apex
Can't
predator.
train a shark.
Yeah, especially a great white. So
Wow. That blows my mind.
They tried, but
Unbelievable.
crazy. So that's when they had to go with the mechanical shark known as Bruce.
Bruce.
But yeah, it's very cool how they made this movie. The shark is really cool looking. I think it has its own personality. Really,
It certainly does.
It doesn't look like a real shark, yet it does look like a real shark. I don't know. It's cool.
I think that, mine as well, since we're on the subject of Bruce and the mechanical shark, Steven Spielberg had said that they were actually relatively lucky that the shark wasn't functioning the way that they should, because the lack of the shark being on screen for so long created this suspense. So, I mean, it wasn't... The mechanical shark they built, 12 tons, huge piece of machinery, wasn't really cooperating with them, but it added to the suspense of the movie. And he says that because it didn't work, that's what made the movie feel so
Well,
suspenseful.
it's the unknown. It leaves it up to your imagination.
You're almost an hour in before you
really see
it, really.
Yeah.
And I think that, he said if we made this movie now, of course you're going with the CG, you're going all these different things, it wouldn't have that same feeling of the build up of fear. And it is the unknown. I mean, that's what makes the ocean so scary. You don't know what's going to swim up to the shore.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of unknown factors with it. I think that their schedule allowed for I don't know, I think it was 50, 60 days on set or something like that. They ended up going 150 days.
It's almost double what they
this was tens of thousands of dollars every single day they had to go on. But Steven Spielberg was insistent upon filming in the Atlantic Ocean.
He wanted to film not on a set. He wanted to be in the ocean, and I think up to that point, not many films had taken on that. If any. Most of them were filmed in a backlot or maybe, the background on a beach somewhere, but in the water. with the cameras on a boat.
Right.
Just that had never been taken on before.
As a matter of fact, I thought it was funny because they were saying, I mean, there's all these, real life elements happening out there on the ocean. Sailboats would come into frame.
Right.
And, they take fucking forever to get out of
Of
frame.
course.
So they would see other sailboats coming, and Steven Spielberg was talking about how he would have to make the choice of, do we shoot now? We have about a 7-minute window or so to shoot this next scene, or we re-anchor. And that takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours every time you do it. So there's so many things. There were certain days that they had everything set up. Yet the sun would move over to the other side of the
right.
The sky.
It was all for nothing. Huh?
It was all for nothing. They'd be like, we can't even shoot today.
Shoot this.
Wow.
Same thing when
yeah.
the Kittner boy dies. The young actor, when he goes out there and he's swimming out on the little yellow life raft, they had rigged a small little explosion to happen, or tiny, just to release, the blood and everything of him being attacked. Well, apparently he when they did it, he didn't react the right way. All this blood's in the water, and they had to wait like 2 or 3 hours for the tide to wash all that blood in to reshoot it. And by the time they did, the lighting had changed. So they finally changed how they approached that shot. But I mean, little things like that, right? When you're shooting in the elements. You're kind of this guerrilla style like filmmaking where you're actually out there. I think not only adds to the realism of it, but I think that you learn really quickly. It's like this is not going to be our average run of the mill shoot,
Absolutely.
which is why it went twice as long.
Yeah. Isn't that the beauty of older films though? They
did shit like that.
They did shit. They were limited back then. They had no computers to do things. I mean, they talked about how just with the sailboats alone. They could have taken out digitally nowadays, but they couldn't do that back then. So I think there's a respect for older filmmaking that you just don't really see as much anymore.
Hey, so much so that there was a book written, I think it was called The Filming of Jaws or something like that, but it is like, you hear people say that it was the making of Jaws, and it's a book literally written about the making of Jaws. It was their Bible. I mean, Eli Roth and different filmmakers, not that I'm necessarily
I know what
Eli
you're
Roth
talking about, yeah.
But like that, Steven Soderbergh, different ones like that was their Bible. That was how they, and it really is, it is a movie that I think inspired other directors to get into film. I mean, it's that influential. I think that it does things that most other horror films don't do or have never done, and films in general.
It's also like made for films to kind of follow suit, like Halloween.
Of course.
It's pretty much a very similar movie.
Right.
Oh, that's kind of true. I didn't think about
the
that.
land
This is
version
a
of
fucking slasher.
Jaws.
At the end of the day,
It
Jaws
is a slasher,
But
but almost a family-friendly movie.
isn't that something too? It's
Almost, just not quite.
not
I mean,
quite.
it's there. I mean, I watched it as a kid, scared the fuck out of me, but I
yeah.
still, I mean, it wasn't like my parents weren't allowing me to watch it. I mean, the movie's rated PG.
Rated PG. It's violent without being really violent, right? I mean, you got a leg floating down a head. It's been you see the gore, but it's purposeful. It's tasteful.
It's almost like a Nature Channel documentary.
And the movie, in a way, feels like a documentary.
Yeah.
I think because they went to the island off of Martha's Vineyard, they used a lot of local people.
They did, yeah.
So it almost has a nature documentary feel to it, which is really crazy. I don't know. It doesn't feel dated either. I mean.
No, it doesn't, man. I was watching it, I was like, I feel like it's still there. I mean, hell, this movie came out more than 10 years before I was born.
Right.
I mean, like 13 years, I believe.
Right.
And so I'm like, damn, dude, that's crazy to think that a movie that's on its 45th anniversary is still relevant.
Right.
And
1975.
And this really was, I believe, like the first real summer blockbuster.
It was, and that was intentional.
Yeah.
Initially they were going to put it out in close to 700 theaters, and the studio was like, no, we're going to do 400. And it was genius. I can't remember the gentleman's name that made that call. He said, I want there to be lines of people in front of the theaters to get in to see this. He goes, you can't have better marketing. He goes, I want it to have a bit of scarcity to it, so let's reduce it down to 400 theaters to sort of get some hype around the movie. So they reduced the number of theaters it was released in, and you're right, the first summer blockbuster by all accounts. That term had never really been thrown around before.
Yeah.
Summer blockbuster.
But it started
was
that trend.
the movie that everyone had to see, and I by all accounts, a lot of people that have seen it, that saw it when it was in theaters, multiple screens. They went multiple times.
Yeah.
And that was the first time they said, I went and saw that movie several times.
I could see that. I would have done the same.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so guys, let's go around. Let's talk about some likes and dislikes. So,
Absolutely.
Lynn, go ahead and start us off with it, man. What do you love about this movie?
Robert Shaw.
Yeah.
I would say that is he. You know, so it's funny. I had no idea that whole scene about the U.S. Indianapolis was not in the novel. And as a matter of fact, that whole discussion that monologue is by far and away one of my favorite monologues in all of film. That whole situation, real life, really happened. That was classified information, so when the novel came out in 1974, that part was not in there.
Mm-hmm.
That was declassified. Steven Spielberg read about it and said, that's Quinn's, that's his that's his art, that's part of his story.
Yep.
So they put it into the movie, and I just don't, I mean, the movie, let's just say you didn't have Robert Shaw, you didn't have Quint, you had someone, I don't know. He, to me, makes this movie. It's like, there's the shark, and then there's him.
Mm-hmm.
He is just so fantastic. I would have to say he's probably my favorite thing about this movie. I've watched this movie I don't know how many times. Being someone that's done some acting before, the subtlety that he brings to the character are just amazing.
Yeah,
It's just absolutely
even that
amazing.
scene when
Yeah.
when he talks about the war story.
Yeah.
It's like they're joking around, and then all of a sudden he gets serious.
You see everything change. His body language, the way that he reaches over and he pats Hooper on the shoulders, like no, that wasn't. I don't know. I think it was a really, really bold choice to kill him off because it's like no, and you see that it's like no, he can't die.
But damn,
but it's impactful.
A very brutal way to go. I mean, the last time that Bruce really chomps down and then the blood kind of spits out of his mouth and he's gone. It's just like, wow.
It's crazy. But that is definitely.
Speaking of, I want to kind of talk about that. If you notice in this movie, they try to reduce the amount of red in this movie. No one's really wearing red clothing. I think you see a couple of people wearing red swim trunks in the beginning, but they really wanted to focus
Minimal.
all the red on the blood.
On the blood.
On the
Oh,
blood.
yeah.
So pretty cool stuff. Okay, so Robert Shaw was really what kind of makes this movie for you?
He's so great, and I think the acting in general. I think the triple R's, man. You have Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, and
Roy Scheider.
Roy Scheider. I mean, they're just a fantastic trio, and they all have their place. I mean, you have you have all different. You have the rich sort of young whippersnapper and Dreyfuss, and then you have the kind of everyday man who's afraid of going to the water, but he's the one that actually ends up fucking killing the
Isn't
shark.
that crazy? He's aquaphobic,
And he's the one that
Yeah.
and so you relate to him in a way because like, or if you don't live on the coast, like he's kind of like, he's from New York, he's from the mainland, and like that would be like me being like, oh hey, we're gonna get on a boat and go hunt a shark. We're gonna do fucking what?
Okay, so think about this. You're Roy Scheider
Yeah.
as an actor, right? And you're trying to get into character as a person from the mainland who goes to a town where you're aquaphobic and having to get on a boat to go hunt a shark
Right.
in the middle of the ocean. So as an actor, damn, that's a hard task to fulfill, you know? Like
It
that's,
certainly is, man.
I mean, it's pretty crazy how they were able to get that. So, all right, any other things that you love about this one?
Gosh, I just the music, obviously. I mean that. I mean, my notes. I said John Williams. Enough said. I mean, we know his track record. But one of the things that I find interesting is less is more approach. John Williams said he wanted to take a very tribal, primitive approach to the music because at the end of the day, it's a prehistoric creature that we're living in the shark's world, right?
Right.
The shark has been here long before us, and I think the music kind of like portrays that. And then I guess for me, it's just we know what John Williams went on to do from there. But yeah, I mean, great stuff. I mean, what else? What else should I say? I mean, I've got a ton of likes, but I just think that those two things for me really stand out. Obviously, the music and of course Shaw's performance, but
Okay.
and also too, I think that the movie definitely has three distinct classic mythological tales. There's three distinct parts of this movie. There's the setting up, you introduce the characters. There's the sort of the planning and figuring out, and then the adventure, right? You know, and I love when a movie kind of like you almost feel like this is like, but yes, because in the history of films, this is on up there in the pantheon of like one of the greatest films ever made. But the story, the way it tells it, falls into that mythological folklore.
Yeah.
And I think the structure of the story, that's really all Spielberg, because the way he adapted it from the novel from Peter Benchley, he said Peter Benchley's novel is fantastic. It was, and it was crazy. The novel came out 74, the movie 75, very close.
Very
together.
close, yeah.
He said, but what he wanted to do is just sort of shave off and really get down and strip it down to more of like this, classic adventure fucking tale. So.
Yeah, and thank goodness that Peter Benchley actually wrote this novel, because he pitched the idea to his wife, who basically said, I think you need to come up with a new story.
Yeah.
A shark terrorizing a small
That's right.
town, I don't think that's going to work. He ended up doing it, and it all worked out great. So,
yeah.
And the thing is, too, like you were just talking...
Was it a bestseller or anything?
It was the number one bestseller.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Number
Yeah.
one bestseller for 74, or in 74, I believe. So they brought in, and I'm probably saying his name totally wrong, but Carl Gottlieb. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he was a more of a comedic writer. He was doing what was the TV show that he was doing? Do you guys remember?
Shit.
It was like a big.
I've read that somewhere.
What was
And
it?
he's all over. He's in the movie a ton. That guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's
man.
the one like taking the picture of all of them when they capture the tiger shark. He's that dude that's got the half balding and.
Odd Couple is what he was doing.
That's
Odd Couple. So he was doing the Odd Couple, and he was a friend of Steven Spielberg's, I believe. He brought him in. They started kind of pitching the ideas back and forth, and he started kind of rewriting it to put comedy, to inject comedy into the film, which it made a huge difference, man. Also, what was really cool is, as Steven Spielberg said, this was pretty much the only movie he ever did that him and Carl Gottlieb were like actually talking to the actors, and they were kind of going back and forth about dialogue, because he was saying, like, look, these actors, they get into the mindset of these characters more than anybody. So they have ideas of things to say in the movie. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to try. And then it was like, this was like a really collaborative type of effort to try and come up with a script that made sense. And I mean, there you go.
Well, that's funny, because the last I'll really talk about that, but Robert Shaw and that monologue about the USS Annapolis. So that initially, whenever they decided to incorporate to the film, was a lot longer. There was a gentleman by the name of Howard Shore that reduced it down to about a paragraph. Robert Shaw, believe it or not, was a writer too, and he'd written some different things also after. He said, okay, just much you said, let me see if I can put my own feel, my own sort of emotion into it. So he kind of took what Howard Shore did in that monologue and then really made it his own. So being able to give the actors freedom to improvise. Matter of fact, I think the line, "A dead doll's eyes," that was an improvised line.
Yeah.
I'm
you're going to need a bigger boat was an improvised line. Right. And by the way, that's funny, because everyone thinks it's we're going to need a bigger boat, but it's you're going to need a bigger boat. So we actually have Jaws playing in the background here as we're talking about this. And speaking of comedic relief, just had the scene where Quint chugs a beer and just crushes the can. And Hooper like drinks a little paper cup of water and crushes it. I love that part, man. It's just greatness. But is there anything about the movie that you don't like?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really don't think so. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, if it is, then it's so small that it just doesn't come to mind. And I have very extensive notes from different things, but there's really nothing that I can say that just doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Right on. Okay. Well, then let's go over to Evil Eddie, man. What do you think about this film?
Man, very, very undisputed classic. I mean, this is pre-Star Wars, so I wonder, like...
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
This is pre-Star Wars.
2 years before Star Wars came out.
And I always wonder, like, would this movie be... I mean, because Steven Spielberg went on to do some major budgeted films. Had this been done post-Star Wars, I wonder if it'd be the same movie.
I don't think so. I don't think it would, man.
And that's always blown my mind, that this was, like, 3 years away from not being what it is.
Did you know that George Lucas went on to set and they accidentally jacked up the shark when he was there? You know that story? Yeah. So he was friends with Steven Spielberg. He wants to get inside the shark and look at how the mechanics work. And somebody pulled something, like they were just joking with him, and he got stuck inside. Like the mouth closed, and he got stuck inside. So I think they kind of had to like break it to get him out of there.
Yeah.
But
Luckily, I think they made like 3 of those sharks?
5.
Or 5?
Well, they're not all the same, though, man. It was really different angles. One was just a head.
One could move one way, another one could... Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So they did it like that. But yeah, very, very cool. So yeah, pre-Star Wars... Classic.
Classic, yeah, absolutely. And then also we mentioned earlier Halloween is kind of a similar movie. And it really is. It's centered around this force, and then there's also this very simple yet effective score. And that's exactly how people think of Halloween. But even deeper than that, we got 3 characters. They're the main characters, similar to Halloween. That's Quint, Brody, and Hooper. Those 3. Other than that, everyone else is kind of an accessory in it.
Kind of bystanders.
Yeah, but they play a role. All 3 of them have their single personality that makes it work. Absolutely. That makes them likable, that makes the viewer really get into them. This is very similar, because we got Hooper, he's book smart. And then you got Quint, who's street smart, but he's kind of a loose cannon.
Tough as nails.
And then you get Brody, who's afraid of the water. The 3 shouldn't be on a boat, but that's what makes it. That's what makes it so interesting. Their personalities grow into the plot of the movie, and I love that. I love how they work together. I've always saw the antagonist not as the shark. I always saw the antagonist as a mayor. I thought,
he was the bad guy, really.
Yeah, he really was a bad guy. Him and his fruit stripe gum fucking suit that he's always got.
Awesome.
Dude, I fucking love those suits, man. If I can't find an anchor suit like he's got, that's the fucking one, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel like he should have that hat from Caddyshack, where he's like, oh, you buy this hat, you get a bowl of soup.
Oh, sure, it looks good on you.
Oh, it looks good on you. Now I know why tigers eat their young.
But you were something before electricity.
Dance of the dead. But yeah, man, the mayor kind of is the bad guy.
The mayor's a bad guy because, hey, if the mayor cooperated and saw it as a threat, the beach would have been closed. They would have gotten real pros in there, but they kind of had to get a group of misfits and rogues. And, just working together. That's how it had to happen. They had to that was like their only resources. So without the mayor and the shark is just doing natural selection. With the ignorance of the humans. That's what this is about. I think it's kind of like The Shining. It's about the ignorance of humans and how we're just all animals.
Yeah.
When we're in the water, we're just bait. We're just food.
It's their world, man.
It's I think there's a little more beyond the movie, but man, unbelievable classic. I've watched it many times, and dislikes, I have no dislikes. Similar to Halloween, I think it's almost a perfect movie. Very simplistic.
So true.
But every time you watch it, you kind of get a different, take on it. And I love that about it, but yeah, that's about all I have.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, man, I mean, I agree with everything that you guys have said so far. I mean, I think that Robert Shaw's performance is the most memorable of the film. But everything comes together. It's like you said, it kind of sets it up where you get to know the characters in the beginning, and then it doesn't really introduce the whole shark aspect until later. I mean, even though the first scene of the movie is the shark attack, which is terrifying, man.
Yeah, it really is.
The way they filmed that.
The way that her body kind of jerked under a little bit at a time, it's violent, but subtly violent,
Yeah, and what they did with that was they had it was like 10 men. They were tied her to ropes or cables, basically,
That's right.
And they were up on the shore. And one group of guys would tug her one way, and then one would tug her the other way. And I mean, she said it was actually painful.
I'm sure.
Kind of like The Exorcist, huh?
Kind of, yeah. Similar to that production. So, gosh, I cannot remember her name. It was Susan Backlany.
That sounds about
Chrissy
right.
is who she plays. But no, man, it was kind of crazy too because that very last little breath of the breath that she gives.
Right.
Steven Spielberg actually poured water down in her mouth, into her throat. She kind of coughs it up. It's kind of a waterboarding type thing. I mean, and guys, I'm taking all of this from the making of. It's like, you could watch that shit and be like, yeah, I already fucking know that information. But
you know what? And you know what's crazy? I think that speaking of that real fast is the making of Jaws itself is a huge deal.
Yeah.
It was whenever it was released, there's not many movies that the making of is just kind of one of those things it's not obviously as good as the movie, but people were just so fascinated with the movie that when they finally got that, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but that's a huge, huge thing. The making of Jaws and the whole documentary, it's
a really good one.
It's a really good one.
Very interesting, very intriguing to watch.
I don't know how many movies up until that point, or that really I can't say that it set the standard of making of documentaries, but I want to say that it kind of is like set. I guess I don't know.
Set the tone.
Set the tone for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. So, there's a. I love the cast of this movie. I think that they casted it really well.
Fantastic.
They were trying to get Charlton Heston to be Brody. That was their original.
Didn't Steven Spielberg say he didn't want to use any A-list stars?
So he was just too big for the movie, so they wanted somebody. And I think as the story goes, he was at a party. Steven Spielberg was there, and Roy Scheider came up to him. They started chatting. Steven recognized him because Roy was an actor. They started chatting, and Steven was kind of distraught over the fact that they couldn't find a lead for this new movie called Jaws. And Roy says, "Well, I'm an actor. I'd love to tell that story." And bada boom, there it was. So he's in the movie, and he's great in the movie. He plays. He's a very just down to earth, realistic type character. Robert Shaw again, obviously did great. I got to be honest, guys. I don't recognize Robert Shaw from anything else. He was in older movies. He died shortly after this was made. So unfortunately, I've never seen The Sting. I know that is Robert Redford in that one as well. The Sting. I'm pretty sure
that's Robert Redford.
Yeah. I know that's one of those like classics that you got to see type of things. I know he's in that. I know he's in From Russia with Love, one of the James Bond movies, and he was a villain. That's pretty cool. Roy Scheider was in The French Connection before that. That's kind of the only other title that I recognize for him. Richard Dreyfuss, on the other hand, I recognize a lot of things from him. American Graffiti, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Stand By Me, What About Bob? Mr. Holland's Opus, which I love that movie, and then he actually reprises his role of reprise.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Because everybody says that fucking different.
Tomato.
Yeah. Yeah, reprises his fucking role of Hooper in Piranha 3D, the remake of Piranha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he comes back. It's just a
that
cameo,
shit?
but it's
How
kind of
about
funny.
that? Yeah.
Lorraine Gary, she plays Brody's wife. She really wasn't in a whole lot of films after that, except for Jaws movies. She was in Jaws 2 and then Jaws 4, The Revenge, which I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Jaws 2 and 3, meh. I like Jaws 4, pretty good. Murray Hamilton plays Mayor Vaughn, the bad guy. The only other thing I recognize him from was Amityville Horror. He was the priest.
That's right.
In that, so that was pretty cool.
Amityville.
Yeah. And Amity Island.
Amity Island, yeah. What a coincidence. And then, of course, as far as crew goes, fucking Steven Spielberg, can you beat it?
26, dude.
26 years old, yeah.
When he made this. And, Sugarland Express, he did that, I guess, the year prior.
He did Duel.
And Duel.
And Duel is similar to Jaws as, it's an 18-wheeler that you never see the driver.
That was fucking great. We gotta talk about that.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah. And he was also, my favorite movies from Stephen Spielberg. That was really awkward.
That was
That was
awkward how you
awkward.
called him Stephen King.
Sorry, Stephen. Stevie. Steven.
I'm a director, okay?
But fucking Jurassic Park, dude.
Yeah.
Hook. I love Hook.
Oh, yeah. Well, have you watched that as an adult?
It's still good, bro.
No, it's not.
It's a bunch of screaming kids.
Yeah. I really did not.
Rufio.
God, you know what? I'm thinking about this. That is actually maybe another episode. Is movies that we've seen haven't seen in a while and watched as adults that were just didn't hold up nearly as well. I think that'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, that would be.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to go back into this. So you guys have both talked about John Williams' score for this movie. John Williams, I would say, is my second favorite movie composer. I would say that Danny Elfman's my number one.
Yeah.
I just love Danny Elfman's weirdness.
Danny Elfman's great.
Plus, I love Oingo Boingo. So. It's a dead man's body. And so I don't think this movie would have been quite what it is if you didn't have the cinematography. You guys know that I talk about cinematography pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Bill Butler did this one.
Butler.
What Steven Spielberg asked him to do is, I want you to make this to where you're right on the horizon between the water and land or whatever. So that's
right.
They created this kind of glass box for the camera, so that's when you see like half of it's underwater, half of it's above, so it's almost like the shark is right there looking. It's like the point of view of the shark.
Sure.
So I thought, if you don't have that, okay, if they couldn't use the shark as much as they wanted to do, they used everything else they could do to trick you, to make it more of a psychological what if type of thing. I mean, even Steven Spielberg told the girl who played Chrissy in the beginning, this first scene, I want kids crawling under the chair.
That's right.
Scared. That's how I want this to be. And they were able to accomplish that without even seeing the fucking shark, man.
That's right.
So
It's so effective.
yeah, it's great. I love the look of Bruce the shark. Bruce was named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer, and that's kind of funny. But I think that he looks fantastic. I think that it wouldn't be the same today if they do a CGI shark.
It wouldn't.
The only other shark movie that comes to mind that's like worth a shit really is Deep Blue Sea. That movie is really cool, but those are CGI sharks.
Yeah.
And I don't think they look nearly as good. And I like the practical effects. That's what we always talk about with these older movies. Like prior to like the 90s, you had a lot of practical effects.
That's right.
I mean, really even through the 90s, but still, I just respect that so much more. And so, yeah, there's that favorite scene of the movie. How we went and talked to Bobby earlier at Harbor Video. Bobby, when he's like, "What kind of fish is that? What kind of shark is that?" And he goes, "It's a tiger shark." A what? Favorite scene of the movie, man. That's the best.
I've seen an interview with that guy, and he said that, people come up to him and say that line all the time.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for.
Right? A
Yeah.
what? It's just great, man.
Yeah.
So awesome. I don't think there's anything about this movie that I don't like. It's pretty perfect.
Pretty damn near perfect, yeah.
It's just going back to the cinematography. I think it's just a really good looking movie. A lot of movies from the 70s, the big budget movies, they just have this color to them. This I don't know. It's something that you
washed out or
yeah
something like that.
Yeah, it's just different. And I think that movies in the 70s looked better than they did in the 80s, personally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that movies in the 90s also looked better than movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Something going on in the 80s with the cameras they were using or technology or just...
Yeah, I mean, there's some really great looking movies
Yeah.
in the 80s, but I think in general, there's really, really good looking movies in the
Yeah.
70s. They drastically improved from the 50s and
Well, I
60s.
mean,
Well,
It's-
the 80s also decided to take the Mustang from the 70s and just square it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, Mustangs got real ugly there for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, the 80s, I guess it was all the coke going around.
I
that
think
people
too,
are just like,
it's
"Nah,
like,
this
it's like the beginnings of like CGI. We're talking about that. You look at like early movies that incorporated CGI. Some of that is ugly, but now the CGI is like, we prefer practical effects, but some of the stuff they're doing is like so realistic. It's like,
Right.
it's finally coming to its own 20 years later. And I think the 80s was a weird, like, a lot of things were starting to become more digital.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had a mixture of analog and digital, and it was really, didn't know what it was having a hard time figuring itself out.
Yeah, and what I like about today's movies is that they can blend the two. You got some practical effects with CGI
I
on
still
top.
wish they would do more practical effects.
I do
Oh,
too.
yeah, me
I do
too.
too. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I guess there's a time and place for everything. so-
Yeah.
yeah.
We just gotta time repeats. The 80s we just listen to the guy that always has the better idea in his head, and he's always like, "Oh, trust me, this is gonna be it's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome."
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need to give that guy more, power to call the shots.
That's right.
Yeah, give
And,
him-
and-
give him
and
some
we
budget.
might get those movies. We
Yeah.
just gotta get the guy on coke to come in.
We just need to Coke resurgence.
Yeah, if we get more Coke, then it's all going to be good.
It's we could solve it.
All right, so last thing I want to talk about is just the poster, the cover art. Man, dude, it's just like one of the most iconic posters of all time. We talked about that with Halloween. Jaws, it's a movie that, like, if I'd never seen it, I'd never even heard of it, but I went to a video store and saw the cover, and be like, oh shit, that's a good one.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's very cool looking.
So it's funny that you say that. So they got the image for the poster from the novel.
Right.
And the gentleman that illustrated the novel, his name is Roger Castell. And what's funny is that he is obviously the biggest thing. Well, at the time it wasn't, obviously, but no one knew where this movie was going to go. But he went to do research. He went to a museum where a science museum, and I can't remember which one it was exactly, to get some inspiration to draw this picture.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happened that when he went to the museum, they were cleaning the shark exhibit. So all the sharks, and he took his camera with him, all the sharks were laying on their sides like this, with their mouths sort of open.
Okay.
And so every picture he has, it wasn't like they were standing up in a pose. They were all like where you could see the mouth, like that. So he
Okay.
said, well, that's what I took pictures of. He started kind of playing around with it. And so the idea of the shark kind of coming up from the water with this single swimmer and this very ominous, there's a lot of negative space, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing here. It's
Yeah.
simple. it wasn't a conscious decision. It's just kind of how it was. Just so happened the sharks were being cleaned. You know, from the exhibit, they were all laying on their sides. All the pictures she kind of took were from that angle. And he says that's a real interesting angle because a lot of times you look in books, you see sharks head on or kind of like the length of them. He said, but just that. He said that was just added. So anyway, they took that picture from the novel and then they made it into the poster and then
the rest is history. Yeah.
And it arguably may be the most recognizable film poster of all time.
It's fucking up there.
It very well could be.
Because they even go as far as saying that picture was used in like really in a lot of political ads where the shark could be taxes and then the common part and they've used it in so many different things.
Right.
It's sort of iconic. So a lot of people say it's the most visually like when you see that it's Jaws. It's
Jaws. Well, we just talked about the Halloween poster. That's like a single image.
Pretty iconic.
Right? This is kind of a single image. Jurassic Park is a single image. You know what I mean? So it's not like a whole lot going on. So like let's think about like the Avengers movies, the new ones that has like fucking 48 characters on the fucking poster. It's like so much going on. Yeah, that looks cool too. Right. But when you have something that's like more on the simple side like this, I think it's more effective.
I need to do a ranking episode where we rank
I would love
movie
to do that.
covers.
Oh, that's a great idea. We should do that.
Yeah.
And what's funny too is they talking about the poster. It kind of goes with the marketing behind this. The marketing campaign for this was it was specific and it was a tactical sort of the way that the gentleman that they got to do the voiceover for the trailers. It was his idea to do the voice the way that he did, and if you I think his name was something Rodriguez. I can't remember, but anyway, they talked. There's an interview with Percy Rodriguez, and he was a voice actor. He, on purpose, he wanted his voice to be that low, subtle, menacing. If God created a monster, it would have to. It was his choice because they wanted him to be intense. It's a movie about a shark, and so they wanted him to be more high pitched and real intense. But he said no. All the sort of visuals you have for the trailer. It's this camera moving through the water and sort of stalking its prey. So super effective. So like apparently, I can't imagine like seeing trailers or pictures. Like a lot of the ads were just like that. This summer, like imagine the hype that was around. Because there wasn't anything
not remotely close to
it that had been out before. But yeah, fascinating shit, man.
Fascinating. It's a fantastic movie. I'm so very, very glad that we decided to cover this one. That was a cool idea. So, yeah guys, anything else that we want to talk about this one?
You want to take a break and then come back and talk about our favorite kills?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. We could do a little kill. Yeah. There's some good ones in here. Sure.
Okay. Let's take a break.
If you'd like to keep in touch with us, please email us at 66.6thehorror@gmail.com. We look forward to your thoughts, feedback, and recommendations. If you want to follow us on social media, catch us on Instagram and Facebook, 66.6thehorror, and on Twitter, you can follow us at 66_horror. We look forward to hearing from you guys, so listen up and stay scary.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you ladies of Spain. For we received orders to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again. Oh, show me the way to go home. Woo! I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Go to bed. And I'm drink about an hour ago, and it's gone right to my head. And where I roam on the land or sea or foam or home. You want to singing this song, show me the way to go. Hey, and here's the swimming with bow-legged women.
Okay, guys, so welcome back from the break.
Been a long one. I hope you guys drain the main vein.
Yeah, drain the lizard. Okay, so let's go over our favorite kills of the film.
Few in this flick.
There's a few good ones. So,
Yeah.
Lynn, lead us off, man. What was your favorite kill?
Honestly, man, it's tough, but I think the very first opening scene, when the girl gets
Chrissy?
swimming at night, and then to top that off, we were kind of talking in the break a little bit, like also too the aftermath of that, seeing her body, like you just see it from like a sort of a weird angle looking up, but the crab's kind of crawling out of her washed up corpse or what's left of it, and kind of like
The remnants?
a hand here and like hair kind of draped back in the sand, and just I think it goes back to the way that she was kind of like gets kind of tugged under, and she's like, and it's just, it's creepy. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah, okay. I totally get that one.
And I like what you mentioned about the police officer playing with the sand. Kind of
the deputy? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of weird. He's like, he discovers the body, and he's sitting there, and he's kind of playing with the sand, like all, like, all melancholy
Yeah, I think
drama. Dramatic.
I don't think that Amity Island gets a lot of. I think even. Brody mentioned it. There hasn't been like a single homicide.
Yeah.
So
They're just mostly mischief.
Yeah. So he's probably seeing a body washed up on the shore. Probably put him in a very weird state.
Yeah. Well, that is a good one, and it just sets the movie up, kind of letting you know
does,
this
and
one's going to
I
be
made note of
a scary
that.
movie.
Yeah, I noted that. It's just
Okay.
like this movie gets right from the beginning, from this opening scene, it reels you in.
Kind of like Halloween.
Oh,
That's kind of like Halloween. You kind of chose opening kill scene for the
I
Halloween.
did, yeah.
You like those opening kill scenes?
I do. And
Yes.
the same thing, my favorite scene in The Shining is the opening scene. I like openings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gross.
Wow. Okay.
You know, like a grand opening, like a new Target or something in your area.
That's so what you meant, dude. I see it. That weird pervy look in your
Oh,
eyes.
shut up. You stop it.
You stop it.
All right, on to the man who needs no opening.
All right, am I up? Is it me turn?
Oh,
are you
yeah.
gonna-
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my favorite kill is Quint. So when Jaws just leaps out of the water, which seems pretty unrealistic, but he breaches onto the boat, and then it causes the boat to start going in the water. I think the reason why, not only is it like kind of like what I would consider the most brutal kill, just because when the blood squirts out of Quint's mouth, it's just like, it's like, wow. And
Still
then-
gets me every time I see it.
Right.
Oh.
I think that, but also, man, like the way that the boat is kind of sinking on one side, Quint's holding on, and I think the whole point of Quint is like that he's so tough as nails, so kind of egotistical that he's like, he thinks this shark, there's no way this shark could get him.
Yeah.
There ain't no way. And he even says it somewhere, this shark, he doesn't know what's coming, like he doesn't know what I've got for
That's
him,
right.
or something
Yeah.
like that. So he just like, this is not even a possibility for him.
Not even at all.
And so I think the look in Robert Shaw's eyes that he portrays of like the realization of
It's happening.
it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm holding on, and then the air tank like rolls over his fingers,
Right.
and he can't hold on, and then Brody tries to grab his hand, and it slips, and it's just like here he's going, and you
Yeah.
can just see he's trying to kick away, and fucking
Imagine the terror of knowing that 25-foot just beast is at the one end of your feet, and the boat. The gravity, everything's working against you, right? You're sliding down.
Well, absolutely. Think about this. Like even, the scene in the beginning with Chrissy where she's getting pulled under. Obviously, that's like a lengthy death. Like she knows that something's getting her ass.
Right.
Still can't see it. I'm sure she's assuming shark. Whatever's happening. So there's that. But every other kill in this movie, they really don't see it coming.
It's true.
Quint sees it coming.
He does.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like
he does.
walking into a fucking lawnmower blade or something, going
Right,
and knowing
right.
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's a coming. It's not.
And you say, how would you go? This, that, and other. Bitten in half. That's gotta be painful. Painful, slow way to die.
Right. And that lawnmower, that was a Frankenhooker reference, by the way.
I thought it was a Dead Alive reference.
I thought it was a Point Break reference.
I thought it was a Leprechaun Part 3 reference. I don't know. Anyways,
I thought it was a Lawnmower Man reference.
God damn it, there's a lot of lawnmower kills. I didn't realize it. Really cool. But yeah, that's my favorite kill. Evil Eddie. What's your favorite kill?
That was a tough one, but I went with the one where Brody sees his son is in the danger of the shark.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy in the boat's trying to kind of help out.
Hey, You need help with that? You kids okay?
Oh shit, my leg!
Oh, fuck! That whole sequence is awesome.
I
meant to say
the
that
whole
earlier,
beach
yeah.
is running towards it, running towards the mayhem, and no one can do anything about it. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And everybody looks at the whole beach running, and they're like, "Oh, what?" I don't know. But would you guys agree with me that leg, that like severed leg as it's floating down, that is one toned leg?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn,
he
look
did
at
not
the
skip leg day.
No,
No.
he didn't. Look at the calves on
But
this
his
guy.
leg skipped out on him.
Yeah, he's a real skipper. See what I did there? Oh man, we're getting aquatic punny today.
A-O.
Yeah, so that was your favorite kill?
Yeah, I love the way that no one could do anything, and that's gotta be terrifying, is knowing that you're about to go under, and the whole, like, almost the whole fucking island can see it. So many people are seeing it happen,
Yeah.
and knowing that they can do nothing about it.
About it, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so that one always gave me the willies.
Yeah, good ones.
See what I did there? The free willies.
The Willies. A-O.
Wow, dude.
A-O.
You guys remember Me, Myself, and Irene, where he's like, "But you said you would eat blubber." And he's like, "Oh, she'll be eating blubber, all right, just as soon as I free willy." Love it, man. All right, boys. Does that do it for us for
Sure
Jaws?
as hell does.
So, all right. You know, I think
You guys ever had shark?
I actually have.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, shark dick.
All right, well, we'll see you. Well, that's it. We're leaving. We're out of here.
I like it. It's good.
Shark dick?
Yeah.
I don't want a shock dick, man.
Well,
Made me go crazy
but a shark dick man.
ZZ Cock.
Oh man, this is fun. I wonder if anybody listening is like, are these guys like obsessed with dicks and beans?
Probably. I'm starting to assume that.
I guess so. We have a fucking personality. It's a sense of humor of like a 6th grader.
And I like it. All right, guys, that about does it for today.
Yeah.
And until next time.
So tell us something.
Do you agree or disagree with us?
Did we miss something?
Is there something horror related that you'd like to hear us cover?
Make sure to let us know. Like and sharkscribe on social media and keep in touch with us between episodes.
We look forward to hearing from you.
So listen up.
And remember,
Stay scary.
Well, the sun is going down and you're looking for some horror flicks. After catching them way to surf the radio and stop at 66. Little Leatherface, I'll again, and Evil Eddie too. Thumbs up or down, do you disagree or feel the same way too? Tune in every month or so to see your movie picks. Are you sick? You need a fixie noodle. 66.66. Are you sick? You need a fix. You